Alright, this is a Canon camera. We have both for yearbook. We've got a Nikon and some Canon cameras. Doesn't really matter which you're using, you can't go wrong with either. Let me show you how to turn this one on and off right here on the back. There happens to be an on-off switch. Some of them will have an on-off switch right here at the top on the back. This is the wheel that lets you choose what you're doing as far as manual or auto. When in doubt, you can use auto. Not a bad way to do it. It's got a menu on the back here. The only thing you'll need really though is this button, and that'll get you various pictures of people. I was messing around with this one earlier, and that's why I got some photos of folks there. Now, to adjust the f-stop, you can see on this that the f-stop is adjusted by using this wheel. Use the wheel, adjust the f-stop. Up here, this is a very important area. It's got the button to actuate the camera and the focus. Halfway down is the focus, all the way down is the shutter. This controls the actual shutter speed. You can see that on the top here as well as on the back. The ISO for this particular model and the adjustment for the flash is this button right here. You press it and you can see on the back the ISO selection here with the wheel that adjusts the ISO. Next button over is the autofocus and the drive button. Again, the top, adjust the top here. You can be one shot, which is it'll focus on the first time you push the button halfway down. It will focus, and then you can move the camera around wherever and it'll keep the same focal distance there, if you will. AL focus, the camera will try and decide when something's moving that you want to shoot, and then it'll follow that thing, or it'll do one-shot focus, but it decides. That's not always perfect. AL servo on the Canon cameras, that, as long as you're half pressing down the shutter button, it'll follow whatever point you have selected for the autofocus. It'll follow that one. Down here, with the wheel on the back, you can select your shooting mode, whether it be single shooting that this camera has, continuous shooting, which you'll just keep taking picture after picture after picture, and then the self timers, which you won't generally use very often. The very last button here is the white balance and the metering button. We generally shoot raw, and we'll probably talk about that in another video. So just leave it on auto white balance, because since we're shooting raw, it doesn't really matter. You don't ever really need to adjust this. But on the top here, again, with the wheel at the top, the partial metering, evaluative metering, this you might have to mess with. If you have a situation where there's really contrasting light, you may be in a situation where rather than evaluative metering, which will take the whole frame into account, you need to go ahead and step down to spot metering. If there's one spot that you want to be in good contrast, that you've got the lighting right on it, you might have to do evaluative metering. Generally speaking, for most everything we do in yearbook, evaluative metering will work well, and you'll just kind of fudge the settings once you look at the back of the camera a little bit. This right here, which is available on the back of the camera, it's on the top of the camera right here, and then if you look through the viewfinder, you'll see the same thing. It is going to be a -2 up to a +2 with a little bar under it, and when it's at 0, that is a correct exposure as determined by the metering setting of the camera. So that is something you'll definitely have to pay attention to. Right here you have your shutter speed, there's your f-stop, there's your ISO. We've talked about those a little bit in previous videos. Outside of this, there's not much to it. Don't worry about deleting anything. On this particular camera, this particular Canon camera, the memory card is a CF card. It's right here. Don't worry about taking that out. We'll talk about that in class. Pretty much good to go. I guess on the lens you've got an autofocus and a manual focus that you can switch between on most lenses. You can switch it over to manual focus, and then you can try and focus it manually looking through the viewfinder. One thing that can be kind of helpful, and not all of our cameras have this, but most of them do, is a live view. So press that button and you get a live view. It will slow down the camera's ability to focus and take a picture for almost all of the Canon cameras we have. It's not going to be quite the same. That's about it for this camera, except for, I suppose I could show you how to change the lens real quickly, but I won't, because honestly I think we'll probably just set you up for what you're going to need. We're not going to be in a position where we have to do a lot of lens swapping, so that's gonna cut it for today. I think this is a pretty good general walk around of the Canon cameras. Up next is our Nikon camera that we have. This one's slightly different than the Canon camera, but everything's still the same. This one's quite old. It's a D40. This isn't even the D40X. Wow. So several years old. This thing at this point is probably 10 years old, but it'll still take a very good photo if you do your part. On-off switch on this camera is right up here. That's where the on-off switch is. Again, same deal. Halfway down, focuses, all the way down, takes the photo. You have your shutter wheel here, if I can get this in the picture. Shutter wheel here, yeah, I guess I shouldn't call it that. It's a little selector wheel in order to select between the various modes. It's got a manual mode. There's your button to review the photos right there. If you would like, and the Nikons are a little different than the Canons. This particular camera only has this dial back here. This will do your shutter speed, and if you press this plus minus button right here and hold it, then it adjusts your f-stop. Outside of that, this camera is pretty much the same as the Canon camera. We'll talk about it individually a little bit more later. Pretty much the same. Manual focus, autofocus, got your zoom here. But that's a basic walk around of the basic steps. From there, mess around with it and do what you're gonna do. No big deal. You'll figure it out. And if you have any questions, you can ask me in person, leave them down in the comments, whatever works.